Are you going to do it? Are you going to move to Maui? If you are thinking about moving to the Aloha state, there's many things to look forward to. But doing a little bit of research before you fly here is going to help you understand what life is about and ultimately adapt better. Hi, I am Miriam Heinal. I'm a realtor with Cold Banker Island Properties in the island of Maui. And today I'm in Paia talking about the 5 things I wish I would have known before moving to Maui. I moved to the islands in 2007. I spent 5 years on Kauai, beautiful island, the oldest, about 60,000 inhabitants. And 10 years ago, I made my move to Maui. If you have any questions about anything I say here, please leave it in the comments because it's good to share information because that's how we learn more about the area. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I wish I would have known before moving to Maui is that coming on vacation is different than living here. Before I moved to the Aloha state, I looked at the island as a typical tourist. I imagined it all to be an exotic, idyllic place, beautiful beaches, palm trees swaying, coconuts, fresh fish tacos, mai tais, piña coladas, margaritas, luau's, and a lot of happy people. I romanticized it all, but the reality is that living here is pretty much like living anywhere else. You still have to attend to your daily life. You have to get up in the morning, take the kids to school, go to work, unless you're retired, go grocery shopping, cook, mow your lawn, harvest your fruits, maintain your house, etc., etc. But for us that live here, we understand that Maui affords us a unique sense of time and place. I have lived in many parts of the world, but I can tell you that Maui has a unique energy or mana. It's a dynamic island and it's very uplifting. I know that when you get here, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The second thing I wished I would have known before moving to Maui is that the cost of living is expensive. For some of you living in cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, or New York, food and housing prices are on par with the Hawaiian Islands. But for a lot of you out there, when you get here and you go to the grocery store, it's going to be shocking to see the prices that you're going to have to pay. According to Zippia.com, Hawaii has the most expensive milk price in the country. A gallon of milk, which is about 3 liters, and a loaf of bread is about 3 times as expensive to some places in the mainland. Local bananas are twice as expensive, and local mangoes are 3 times as expensive as what you pay on the mainland. And don't forget about gasoline and electricity. Gasoline is about $1.70 higher than on the mainland, and electricity here in Hawaii is produced from crude oil. And in 2022, we paid 43 cents per kilowatt hour, which is nearly 3 times the national average of 16 cents per kilowatt hour, and more than twice the West Coast average of 22 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, if you buy a house that has photovoltaic panels and you have solar hot water, you are going to be ahead of the game. Now, you wonder, why are things so expensive in Hawaii? The answer is that 85 to 90% of consumer goods are imported here. Things have to be shipped either by boat or by plane, therefore the surcharge. This dependence on external arrivals makes Hawaii extremely vulnerable to natural disasters and catastrophic events because these could easily disrupt our supply chains. To cope with the sometimes lack of availability of certain products or certain items, many of us have learned to rely on our gardens to grow our vegetables and our fruits. Some of us trade with others for what we don't have. And some people also have resorted to having chickens for eggs, cows for milk. And there's also people who hunt. We have wild pig and deer here. And also there's people who fish. The third thing I wished I would have known when I moved to Maui is that life here is about aloha. What does it mean to live with aloha? Well, much of it has to do with wishing love and care for all and everything around us. But for me, it's about living more consciously, understanding the impact that we have as humans in this world. And it all starts from what we choose to think, what we choose to say, and how we act. It's about generating positivity in this world. Here a lot of people talk about doing what's pono, which means doing what's right. And we also take care of our ohana, our community, and our aina. And here's 3 examples of how, for me, we are protecting our aina. In 2022, the Central Valley of Maui underwent a dramatic transformation. We saw the end of 125 years of sugarcane production. And this for me was a huge win, because in the sugarcane production, before the harvest, planes would have to fly over the plants to spray a cocktail of very nasty chemicals that would dry the plants in preparation for a controlled field burn. And the field burn was done because if the plants were burned, the machine could harvest them easier. Now, a lot of you who come to Maui with planes during the day wouldn't know about this, because the burning would happen at night. And in the morning after those burns, all those particulates, after being flown up in the air, they would land in people's houses, they contaminate the soils, it would contaminate the water. Once this ended, 41,000 acres of that land was dedicated to the planting of 1 million citrus trees. And this was a huge push to help keep Maui green. It was a move towards increasing local food security and diversified agriculture. And this also reduces the effects of climate change, because trees capture carbon dioxide, they store it, and then they release oxygen into the atmosphere. Another example of protecting the aina was Bill 52 that was passed in 2022, and it bans the sale of single-use plastics like straws, utensils, to-go containers, cocktail picks. In an economy that relies heavily on tourism, this is an amazing move to help keep the environment clean. And lastly, in 2021, Hawaii was the first state in the US to ban sunscreens that contain oxybenzone and octinoxate, which damages the coral reefs. And this ushered a new era in this country towards reef-safe sunscreen. The 4th thing that I wish I would have known before moving to Maui is that we live on island time. Things move at a slower pace here. If you're type A kind of a person coming from the mainland, it's going to take you a little bit of time to adapt. It's not uncommon to be at the grocery store and hear people talking story, and you're standing there for 10-15 minutes in line. But you just have to relax, because that's how it's done here. Lastly, island time has to do a lot with how our weather affects us. It's not uncommon to be caught in torrential downpours, and sometimes if you happen to be unlucky, you can get caught up in a flash flood. It happened to me. Kind of scary. So don't go out and about if you don't know your terrain, and definitely don't walk up riverbeds if you are in a situation like that, because sometimes, water can come down very fast and people have gotten washed down out to sea. Always have a change of clothes in the car, and a towel and a flashlight just in case. Be prepared. The bottom line is that to be happy here, you have to learn to slow down, lower your stress level, and go with the flow. And the 5th thing that I wish I would have known before moving to Maui is that there's no nightlife here. Everything shuts down at 9 p.m. There's no disco dancing till late at night unless you get invited to a beach party. Fortunately, we have the MAC, which is the Maui Arts and Cultural Center. It's an amazing gathering place where the community can get together to celebrate the arts. We have artists that come here to perform or show their work from all over the world. And this year in 2023, we had an art biennale with a juried exhibit where local artists got to enter their strongest, most thought-provoking, innovative work, embodying fresh approaches to contemporary art. If you want more information about the MAC, click over here. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about Maui. If you have any questions, reach out to me. It would be an honor to work with you. Aloha.